Flosstube, this is AM Dreaming Stitcher, and today's video is part of a continuing parade that I am doing of all the kits, charts, and such that I have accumulated in my years of cross-stitching. I know I will never get them all stitched and made. I can make excuses to myself about how I'm just collecting them, but the truth is they're not doing a whole lot of good to anyone just sitting in my boxes. The least I can do is share them with others who like to look and see what's out there. So that's the purpose behind my parades. It took me a long time to come to the decision to do this, but I kept toying with the idea before, so I know that some earlier videos I may have posted in my updates in the past have shown some of these items. This, however, is going to be a systematic run-through of everything, so I hope you will be patient if you see some things that you might have seen before in my videos. I'm sure there will be some new stuff as well. Each installment in this parade will be about 30 minutes in length, and I will try to give you enough information about each item that you could look it up for yourself if you thought it sounded interesting, because I realize that my camera and computer and things are not the best for this, but they're all I've got. So I'm picking up where I left off in the last video I was filming, which was kind of in the middle of my Orenco charts. So we're going to begin there. This is from Orenco Originals. They have their own website online. They sell some of their charts through places like Amazon and eBay. I'm sure you can find them if you're looking for them. In the last time that I showed some of these, I tried to give people an idea what they look like when stitched, because the images on their packaging are always of the original art that they're based on. I have yet to see anything on their site or their packaging that shows you what you get after it's stitched. So to help out viewers who might be interested, I have the one and only one that I have myself stitched, and that gives you some idea how the original artwork translates into a stitched design. In this case, it was only done with 30 colors. There's no back stitching. It only came to 8 by 12 inches on a 14 count fabric. So we're not talking about something like Heaven and Earth Designs or one of those really large full coverage pieces. They are full coverage, but you're not going to go into the same kind of detail that you would get when something has really huge dimensions and refined down to, every pixel of color that there might be. So that's kind of what you get if you stitch them up. And here's the first chart that I had to show today. It is called Peregrine Falcons, inspired by naturalist John Gould. It has a stitch count of 140 by 196. I'm sharing that information on every chart that I can, just to give you an idea how large the area of the project is. Obviously, your actual physical size will vary depending on the fabric you choose. Speaking of fabric, they've charted it for 14 count, but I've noticed in the little cards that they send with the charts that they do offer to personalize it more for you if you wish. You can contact them about decreasing the number of colors. You can ask it to be recharted for a different thread or fabric count, and they said they'll be happy to do that for you. So if they are still doing that, I wanted to make sure you know. Okay, so that's Peregrine Falcons, and this particular one came with a chart for 48 colors. That's kind of higher than most of the ones I've looked at have been, more like 30, 35, and so on. Okay, sorry, I've got quite a mess of little cards and things around me that I'm trying to sort through. All right, next up from Orenco Originals is a piece from naturalist John James Audubon's illustration of pileated woodpeckers. It, again, Orenco Originals, as I said, it's 168 stitches by 224 stitches. And I love this kind of woodpecker, ivory-billed woodpeckers, pileated woodpeckers, whatever. I think they're fascinating looking. So I'm very interested in stitching up things like that. I also like Audubon's artwork. I like nature drawings. This kind of checks all the boxes. The only thing is that I'll never have time to do it all. That particular one is done with 48 colors. Next, we have something to my taste in kind of Asian designs. This is Tanigami Konan's Asian Pink Azalea Flowers. They have a lot of similar designs from Orenco Originals. I obviously can't get them all, but I like this one. It is 140 by 196 stitches. And it has, oh, it's not packaged in a way, I must have had it out. I can't see the number of colors, but you can guess that it's probably anywhere between 30 and 48 colors. This is Blue Tits and Blossoms, inspired by naturalist Archibald Thorburn. It is 196 by 196 stitches. They give some fabric color suggestions, including light green, because otherwise you won't have that lovely green background. And it is done with 40 colors. I'm getting the number of colors by kind of looking at the back of my packaging. I can actually see through to where it tells me, like this next one's going to be 33, but that's why the one I had open didn't have the number of colors readily available to be seen. So this one is called Nodding Thistle Plant by Mary Delaney. They recommend you stitch it on black, so obviously they're not asking you to stitch that black. You should do it on a black fabric. It is a stitch area of 168 by 196. This next one I know is available in a couple of different colorways. I chose this one. It's The Peacock by Arts and Crafts Movement founder William Morris. The stitch count is 112 by 196. I think the other colorway that I recall was more gold and white instead of blue and black. I really can't remember at this late date. And it has 34 colors. This one is the last of the Orencos that I see. So if you saw them in the past, we're going to move on to something different in a moment. This is Forest Rabbits by Arts and Crafts artists Henry Durrell and William Morris. It is 196 by 196 stitches. All of the ones I've been looking at seem to be copyright 2007. I don't know if that is consistently the copyright, if that's when they were actually designed, or if it's when they were printed, or what the story is with that. But if you're interested in knowing that to help you with your searching, there you go. That one is done with, I don't know how many colors because I've had it out of its package too, but they tend to run roughly the same number. Now, next up, I have the charts that I purchased from another company that uses original artwork, but unlike Orenco, which seems to rely on public domain artworks, these are licensed artworks, and they are from a company called Artisy. I expect that many Flosstubers are familiar with Artisy. They do beautiful designs, and I don't have a sample of a finished one, although I'm working on one of their pieces. But at their website, they have a whole gallery of stitched pieces, and they really do look very much like the mock-ups that you get on the front. This one is called African Rainforest. It's adapted from artwork by John Enright. And Tarina Clark does the conversion to cross-stitch of these artworks. At least I think her name is going to be on all of these, so I probably won't repeat it every time. This particular design is 400 wide by 222 high, so significantly larger than the Orenco designs, and also uses way more colors. This one has 68 colors, using only full cross, no backstitch. This next one is part of my fondness for dinosaurs. It is called Sauropods. It is adapted from artwork by Jan Patrick Krasny, and the finished size is 350 by 255 stitches. These are full coverage pieces, so you actually could get an idea of how many stitches you would need to do simply by multiplying the stitch count, 350 by 255, and that gives you an idea of what you're taking on. It uses 79 colors, and again, as with all of these designs, it's using only full crosses. Here's another dinosaur pattern. It's called Tyrannosaur, adapted from artwork by Howard Robinson. The completed size is 300 by 212 stitches. It uses 80 colors of DMC floss. And you get something that pretty much looks like what you see there. I know that some other companies chart with even larger designs and more colors, but really I think the artises turn out beautifully from those I've seen online, and I've seen Flosstubers posting, and I really don't think it's necessary to have hundreds of colors when you can get such a lovely result with far fewer. So I really like Artisy, and I kind of recommend them as being less confetti heavy than some other companies. This one is called Taj Mahal Reflection. It says that they got this image from National Geographic Society. It is a completed size of 182 by 300 stitches and uses 58 colors of floss. Again, I am sure that I showed these in a video long ago, but there will be some things before the end of this video that I do not recall showing in the past, so hang in there. This is Artisy Cross Stitches Cypress and Sea, adapted from artwork by Charles White. I really hope that I have time in my life to do this one. I like it so much. It's 300 wide by 229 high. It uses 61 DMC colors. This one is Grand Canyon Sunset. I think they had a couple of different Grand Canyon pieces. This was the one I chose. It is 300 wide by 200 high. It uses 53 colors, and the original image is copyright of Simon Lafarge Fotolia. This one is adapted from artwork by Mark Keithley. It's called Somewhere West of Here. It really reminds me of Western art by people like Remington, for example, only this is a more modern artist, and I think it's absolutely lovely. It's another one that I so hope I get a chance to stitch. It is 300 by 216 and uses 64 colors. This one is Koi Pond, adapted from artwork by Howard Robinson. It is 183 by 300 stitches, and it's possible someone other than Tarina did this because it says the design is by S. Clark instead of Tarina Clark, so I'm not sure about that. It uses 66 colors of DMC floss. And the next few artistes that I have are something they have available called minis. The minis have a little less definition to them, but they're also quicker to stitch up. This one is Mini Black Pug. It is 97 by 83 and uses 13 colors of floss. This is from a larger design that is also available from them. This is Mini Monarch of the Glen, adapted from artwork by Sir Edwin Henry Landseer. This is from a famous painting, and I do like the full version, but I just couldn't see myself stitching all the background, the mountains and the trees and so forth. It's a beautiful painting, but I thought just the deer might be interesting enough. It is 71 by 80 stitches and uses 51 colors of floss in that little square. And then I have Mini Flamingo. This one is 80 by 61 stitches. It is image copyright of Pindiath, and they give a web file that it came from. And it uses 21 colors of DMC. And my last artisy, which was one of the first ones I purchased, is called Hippo Reflection. It says original images copyright of Timothy Lubke, Fotolia. It has a design size of 252 by 234 stitches, and it uses 58 colors of DMC floss. I'm going to pause you. Well, I may not need to. It looks like I have what I want right next to me. I'm going to move on to some charts that I keep in binders, and I wanted to be able to share them with you. I was thinking that some of them are booklets, but some of them are definitely charts and individual patterns, and I was hoping to share some of those with you, because I've now gotten to the point where most of what I have to show you is going to be booklets instead of individual charts. I can double check on that. Give me a moment and I'll make sure I don't have any more individual charts that I could run by you. There are some individual ones, but they are mixed in with booklets. The only reason I hesitate to dive into the booklets is that they will take longer because there are more designs in each of them. But some of the things in this folder are actually individual charts, so it's a little mix of each. I'm just going to go ahead and start diving into these binders. This is a booklet called First Steps in Counted Cross Stitch. It was produced by the American School of Needlework, authored by Rita Weiss, and they say they had 15 charted designs. This was my first book. This is the book that taught me how to cross stitch. I used all of their advice and I still stitch that way pretty much to this day. Some of their designs are shown there on the back. I know they're going to be too small for you to see much, but I've done the carousel lion, the carousel ostrich, the woman working on her quilts with the cat. I've not done the others, even though it was a relatively inexpensive $4 back in the day. I only wanted to buy things that had a lot of designs that I thought I would stitch. So I was a little unhappy that I didn't want to go out and stitch everything in here because I felt like my money was being wasted. Now I seem to throw away money on things that I will never stitch, which is a shame. I did also stitch this little heart pattern. That was my first attempt at working with their designs. I think that's everything that was in the book. Here's an example of, I have some that I've pulled out and kitted up and put in my bucket list start, so those will be shown in a different video. But here's an example of one that's just an individual chart. This is Teresa Wentzler's Fantasy Triptych. I have seen some Flosstubers doing this one. It is, of course, gorgeous, as hers always are. It has quite the floss list with all kinds of blends and things, which is what we expect from Teresa's designs. And it has areas that may be stitched 1/1, I expect. Yes, it does. Has both over 1 and over 2 stitching techniques, not suitable for Aida, so they really recommend you do it on some kind of count of even weave. And the floss list, by the way, was continued on the back cover. It wasn't just the front cover. So it's quite an undertaking, but her work is beautiful. Oh, and I should perhaps show you the back because it has kind of close-ups of the damsel and the knight, so you can see them a little better. The next one is a book with multiple designs in it. Again, I'll try to find you a page that shows a sampling of some of what's in there. It is from the American School of Needlework. It's the ultimate book of borders and corners from Cooler Design Studio. Cooler Design Studio does have a website where a lot of things are available. I'm wondering if maybe some of these are charted there. Let me see if I can find some of their preview pages without giving away any charts. I can find them, but I'm not sure what I did. There it is. What I did with my cover page. So here's some of their designs. Some really lovely borders in there. Here's some more. I guess you could pause if you want to see them more closely. And here's one more page, giving you an idea of some of the borders that are in this book. It's really a nice book. They are lovely borders. And I think there may be some more on the back. Yes, there are. So there's some more of the designs. It's really, there's lovely stuff in there. If you wanted to do borders or corners, that's the place to find them, I think. Next, this is one that almost got into my bucket list starts. It's from Cross My Heart Incorporated, called On the Pond. And long ago I bought the fabric, ordered it from one of the catalogs online. This was back before we had so many convenient websites like Everything Cross Stitch or 123 Stitch or any of those companies. I needed the black. I still haven't stitched it all these years later, but I love every design in this book. I think I have seen some Flosstubers working on some of them. There it is again from the back. I felt a sneeze coming on there, but I seem to have taken care of it. And yeah, I love all the designs in that book. I want to stitch every one of them, especially the ducks. But I like the damselfly, I like the frog. They're all great. There's another sign of one that I must have already pulled. This binder is really some of the first charts that I got in person at needlework stores for the most part. And so I've been wanting to do them for a very long time, and that's why a number of them have been pulled for my bucket list. This is a fruit tapestry from Just Cross Stitch, designed by Kathy Livingston. I got on the secondhand market a book of her designs that also has this in it. I got this marked down at a needlework shop in person. The store is long since gone, but I do like that fruit tapestry design. No idea what the sizes are on these things. I don't want to take your time to leaf through the book and tell you the stitch counts, but maybe you can guess from what you see. This is from Stitch World X Stitch. It is called Crane's Bell Pull. I don't know where I will ever find the hardware for the bell pulls that I want to stitch, but I do like this kind of Asian aesthetic. It is designed by Linda Bird, and they advertised others on the back. I've seen the Ivy Cat, not in person, but I think it's beautiful. But I liked this Bordeaux bell pull so much that I wrote away to them, ordered it, got it. And it's in my bucket list starts. It's all kitted up and ready to go, fabric and flosses. Now we have one called Mini Motif Borders, Volume 3, in case that matters. It is from Graphworks International. I love the dinosaur border. The Noah's Ark, the little fish and turtles, they're all great. They're all just great. I love the flamingos. I stitched this cat onto a towel and gifted it. So, great borders in there. This next one, I believe I have 2 copies of. I don't know how that happened, but it is from Stony Creek. It is Heirloom Huck Towels, book number 234. As I film later into the evening, I know I begin to lose some color and definition from my camera, so this will probably be the last video I film today, but I want to go ahead and give you an idea of what's in this booklet. I was attracted to the grapes especially. I like the peaches, the pears. If you've seen my other videos, you know I love botanicals and fruits and things. And there's some more of the towels on the back. Some of these are repeated. That was on the front as well. Nice kind of geometric border, ice cream cones. Some are just designs, some there's more to them. I don't think there's anything on the inside though. I don't want to leave it out if I should come across one of those. This next one is another case. This has happened, I don't know how many times, at least 4 that I can think of, where I have the chart and I end up getting the kit. So this is Earth Dragon from Cross My Heart Incorporated. It is a design by Sherry Stepp. A-W-E-A-U. No idea. I do have the chart, but I also had an opportunity to get it kitted up with all the fabric and floss that you need, so I did that. It was part of a series. Earth Dragon is just one of them. And some of the others, I think there was a Fire Dragon. I really don't remember what else there was, but all I have is the Earth Dragon. This one is also from Cross My Heart Incorporated. It's called Creatures of Myth. I'm not 100% happy with all of the charting. I like the unicorn. They show him a couple of different ways. I don't like the way the dragon and the griffin are shown holding these jewels. I'm not sure what the point of that is. It doesn't appeal to me personally. And I would wish to find a way to maybe stitch him not holding that thing, or at least not with this aura around it, but I don't know if my talents are enough that I could do anything about that. There's a larger image of him that you can see. So that's Creatures of Myth from Cross My Heart Incorporated. Here is one called Dragon Fair, Faire, also from Cross My Heart Incorporated. And this was when I was kind of just buying up anything that appealed at all, but most of these I wouldn't actually stitch. I think probably the most likely one would be the fellow on his hoard there. But they're all dragons. You can see there's a number of different designs. This is a case where if you're interested, you might want to look it up yourself to get a better look, because I know it's going to be too small on the camera. And there's some of them again, another view. This is the one that on the front was all 4 stitched together, and here they're showing them kind of separately. Give you a better idea what it looks like. The Busy Needle. Yes, that was a store where I got that in person. Now we have one of a series of books. I don't have more of them in this particular binder, but this is a series that they came out with from Jeanette Cruz Designs called the Omni Books. And I absolutely love the Omni Book of Winged Things. I know I showed it in an earlier video. It will come up somewhere in one of these parades, no doubt. But I love the way that they're just chock full of all kinds of interesting designs. So I got several of them. This is the Omni Book at the Shore. So you get all these shore-themed designs, and any one of them would be beautiful by itself. We have a sailing ship, we have lighthouses, we have kids at the beach, all things that I have seen stitched up as kits or charts on their own, not these particular ones, but the theme. And here we get them all in one book. I see a kind of a fishing pier that is, like a cannery or where they do the fishing down by the shore, I assume. I don't live by the shore. Seashells, and all these different ideas for finishing, like clocks or whatever you would like. Here on the inside are some more of them. I like this kind of alphabet design. Anchor, buoy, crab, dolphin, and so on. It's definitely an alphabet. We have signal flags, shells, ships, the wheels for steering the ship. I know there's a name for those, and I can't think of it. Here on the back, I love that shell sampler. The little hermit crab is adorable. These are probably all too tiny for you to see. You should definitely look this up somewhere and get a closer look at it. It's just wonderful. And that, by the way, is a different set of shells than this one. That one's alphabet with letters. This is without the letters. And there's different shells. I can see they are not the same. I think we have some more inside, so I'm going to try to get a look at that if I can. I'm going to have to get my cover. Look at the seabirds. Those seabirds are great. And they use them in a clock, they use them on light switches, they use them on towels, they use them all over the place. There's some nice sand dollars. Little beach houses for changing at the beach. All those things. They're wonderful, wonderful. I don't think this is one with a center design. Nope, looks like they're purely on the covers. So there's a lot in there I would love to stitch. And it's the same with many of the other Omni books. I think that one's my second favorite after the wings, though. This one is a Beatrix Potter Christmas. And it comes with all of the designs shown. I love the little mice having plum pudding. I would love to stitch that one. Nothing to show on the back or the inside, I'm afraid. But can I get that closer for you to see how cute they are? It's probably not going to focus enough, but they are wonderful designs. Okay, that is just one of several binders I have that have charts and booklets in them. But I'm really close to my 30-minute mark now, and I'm starting to lose my daylight. So I think I'm going to probably call it at that. But I do have plenty more to show. I will keep filming at some point, if not today, sometime. And sorry, just looking at all I've got piled around me. I have more kits to film as well. I'm just going to keep posting, and if you're interested, thank you for watching, and if not, I know there's plenty of other content on Flosstube to keep you busy. So either way, happy stitching, and thank you for watching.